Come with me to do a partial highlight low light on my client today that is not craving a darker look, just a little easier maintenance. Also prepped her hair with K18. We're going to be doing a micro root smudge, all over toner, and trim. The total cost of this service is $380. I'm in San Diego, California for reference. Today's formula, the Formulation Master had me mix up Olga Cool Tone and 10 volume for the highlights. We do bump it up to 20 later throughout. Lowlight formula, Calura Gloss, 8AI, 7N, equal parts to equal parts clear with their 7 volume thick developer. While I'm doing the Lowlight application, I'm only putting those throughout the mohawk area because we're not trying to make her that much darker. Again, we're just trying to have a softer grow out. So I'm able to kind of utilize internally her natural hair color as the Lowlight, if that makes sense, whatever. So I'm working on her left side of the head now. I am not doing any low lights throughout the money piece because, again, I want to make sure she doesn't feel too dark, and that's the security blanket for blondes still feeling blonde. As for the formula too, let me bounce back to that. Olga Calura Gloss processes really fast. It's great when you're root smudging and you don't want to wait 20 minutes like other brands say you have to. You only have to wait 3 minutes to get it working good, but as I'm low lighting, it's obviously going to be sitting much longer than 3 minutes. So diluting it down with clear is going to help it not go too dark. I also formulated with that level 8 because I kind of want a 7 low light, but the 8 is also giving me more insurance that it's not going to go too dark. After I'm done with this side, I do the same exact thing on the other side. And as I'm pivoting my way up here, I'm leaving out those baby hairs in the front because I am going to be foiling them. They're long enough to be placed in a foil without looking like a polka dot, but I'd rather focus on them solo. Like, I don't want to have them in this huge wide section. I'm going to give them the VIP attention that they deserve. Also, it's not breakage, guys. My girl had a baby and now those little guys are long enough that I can foil them. So we know what that means. Baby number 2 is coming on the way. I feel like all my clients that have a little postpartum hair loss in the front, as soon as those baby hairs start getting long enough that it's not a total pain to foil, that's when baby number 2 comes. Also, just ignore my little OCD moment right here. Every now and then I get like one strand in a foil that's not supposed to be there, and instead of just letting it be fine, I have to fix it. But you know, maybe that attention to detail makes a big difference in the long run. So right here, see how I folded that extra? That's because it's such a small amount of hair, the foil can slip. So if you're worried about your foil slipping, just do a little bit more of a hair origami to it to make it lock in place. Or you could always use a clip, but sometimes I feel like a clip is heavy and can just weigh it down more. But for this money piece, again, no low lighting through the money because security blanket for a blonde to still feel blonde is having that brightness in the front. And after I'm done working through the money piece, I'm going to finish up the mohawk section here. And this is when I actually ran out of bleach, which was perfect because I was able to use the 10 volume that had been sitting for a while on the little baby hairs. And since they're so tiny, they're going to process really fast. But I decided to mix up a little 20 volume here. Other reason why I'm popping this foil in is because I want the mohawk area to be super skinny so I can take very thin sections. That way your mohawk area has, okay, whatever. I'm a little ADD right now with how I'm talking, but okay, your mohawk area is super important when you're foiling to be super skinny because if it's not, it's going to look chunky and funky, unless that's the look you're going for more dimension, but I'm trying to go for a super blended result. And a lot of times I love horizontal foils for somebody who has the same consistent part. My girl likes to part in the middle. She likes to part a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left. She flips it around a lot. So by me doing a mohawk section instead of horizontal foils, I'm having that insurance that no matter where she parts it in this mohawk zone, it's going to look very symmetrical and it's going to look the same. Other thing to try to distract you guys from how unsatisfying that foil was, you know, things happen. I like to leave out the last 4, maybe 3 inches of hair when I'm low lighting a blonde that just wants easier maintenance because I'm able to conserve that brightness on the ends. She's still going to feel brighter, but at the same time, the maintenance is still going to be easy because no one sees the roots at the end of the head. You just see it at the top. Let's say she did want dimension on her ends. I would then be low lighting the ends of her hair with a slightly lighter formula because blondes or even people with non-blonde hair. Usually your ends are more porous, they've been through more things, they're a little bit drier, so you run the risk of the color grabbing differently on the ends versus on the fresher hair. Also, if I was trying to give her more of a darker look, I'd be taking way thicker lowlights, and then I would be actually doing some teasy lowlights, because that way I'd have more insurance of those ends being blended and they're not being aligned there. But because I'm taking such fine little Ozempic skinny lowlights, I don't really have to worry about that. I can count on my brush and my painting skills to make sure that it's blended. But again, thicker section, I like to tease it up and color the teased area. If you ever do that, just make sure your saturation is fully there, because if not, you're going to have pixelated hair color from some of the hair in the tease not getting the color that I needed. Unfortunately, by the time I was done styling her up, the sun had set, so I really didn't get a good after picture. It looks darker than it actually is. In the caption, I will put the micro root smudge formula and all over toner.